All right, Believe Nation, it is show time. It is show time. I'm excited to bring on a special guest. I've been learning a little bit more about his world and excited to bring him on for you to learn more about him, what he's doing, share some entrepreneurial wisdom, and introduce you to somebody new, at least to Believe Nation. So happy Thursday. We're going to wait for him to join in. I'm excited. Today's my public facing day, so it's interviews and podcasts and hangouts and just non-stop public facing day. You know, put that extrovert hat on and go. So I'm excited. This is going to be one of two Instagram lives that I'm doing today. Hello from Chicago. Welcome aboard the Brav Easy Medical Device. I love it. Welcome. I'm just waiting on my special guest to join in, and then we'll start the show. There he is. I see him. Let's bring him in. Here he comes, waiting on the man. Welcome. Happy Thursday. There he is.
What's going on, Evan?
Brian Gold, PhD. How you doing, man?
Same shit. Just got back in the country late yesterday, so headed to the office right now.
Tell me the story first behind the name. Why Brian Gold, PhD?
So I have a PhD in pharmacology. Gold is shortened for Goldstein, and then Brian, my first name.
I love it. So if you guys don't know Brian, if you check him out on Instagram, he's got 1 million+ followers. You'll see pictures every day of his lifestyle with cars and shooting guns and the mansions and all that. But then you're also teaching people how to make money and invest. You invest and you're investing in people. Tell us quickly, I haven't been able to find too much about the backstory, like where you came from, how you became an entrepreneur, why you love helping entrepreneurs out now. Take us a little bit down that road. Yeah.
I was actually really good at being a ghost and not being able to be found, but the backstory is pretty simple. I was in special ed from 6th grade through 12th grade, and I got made fun of a lot. I got bullied a lot. I got, ostracized for being different than everyone else. And it was just a learning disability. When I would read something, I wouldn't retain it. And I took all that negative energy and I'm like, fuck it. I'm going to be better than everyone else says, and I'm going to do something much bigger than everyone else says. And that drive just kept pushing me to start several businesses. I started my first business in high school. And then from there, just started morphing it into several different things over the years. And I'm now at that point where I want to give back and teach these kids how to do something. And I charge them nothing, like $250 a month to coach them. And it's just to hold them accountable. You know what my time's worth. You know what your time's worth, Evan. $250 covers nothing for either one of us. And these students are taking probably 15, 20 hours of my time a month and just pushing them to do better, teaching them, if they don't have ways of getting into Amazon, teaching them eBay to just sell random shit around their house just to get a couple extra bucks to get started in something else.
And what made you want to stop being a ghost and now become more public?
Just like your DMs, a couple thousand DMs a day of people basically begging for help and saying, hey, teach me. I want to be successful like you. I want to live the lifestyle you do. And it's like, well, just because I'm showing a lifestyle doesn't mean I'm not still punching 80 to 100 hours a week. That's just, I'm reaping the benefits of everything that's been done.
So what was the big break for you of going from, here's a kid, learning disability in high school, getting picked on, made fun of, you start your first business, that may not have been the big thing in high school, but what was like the big break that you finally feel like, this is my gig?
So I got really good at consulting for people and charging astronomical fees to go into businesses and clean them up and go through the books from top to bottom. And that's just something I'm really good at, just evaluating things and going through things for people and really discovering all of it.
What do you think is the best opportunity right now? So people are coming in to sign up for your program. What are you putting them into for them to have success?
Amazon's the easiest. My Amazon account, I do 4 or 5 million a year off of without doing anything. I do it blindfolded. It's completely automated. At first, there was a lot of work, the first 6 months of building everything, finding the right items, and so on and so forth. But it was, Amazon's, you either get on the train or you get stuck in retail, and retail's a dying breed right now. You walk through any mall in LA and they're dead. It's not like it used to be.
So for my audience, and when we put this on YouTube, they may not have heard of you, or they may not know what business models are open in Amazon yet.
Uh-huh.
What is the basic model? Are you buying something from
From
AliExpress and shipping on Amazon?
Yeah,
What's the
so
model?
the basic model is you're finding a private label item, whether it's Alibaba or going through someone in China and finding a representative to help represent you, putting your own brand on there, and just creating your own small little brand, whether it's protein shakes or iPhone chargers, cases, you name it. Like, the list is endless of what you can sell. And you may not know about sex toys, but hey, go do your research and see what's popular, what's not. And there's a market for everything. It's just depending on what you want to dive into. And you don't need a lot of money to jump in. You're talking a couple $100 spend to get into it and really get things going.
And then are you doing advertising for the Amazon products?
I do a little bit, but a lot of stuff I'm just selling similar type items that are already popular.
So basically, find a product that's popular, find a similar one, try to rank against it.
Yep.
For related items.
Pretty much. That's about the simplest explanation I got.
Hey, listen, it's not that different on YouTube. It's like, find a successful video, make your own version of it, call it something similar, and your goal is to rank after that super popular video.
Basically, yes.
So when are we going to see Brian on YouTube?
You know what's funny? Like, we're having a natural conversation on camera, so I don't freeze, but every time I'm behind like a camera, I freeze for whatever weird reason that is.
You know what the easiest way is through coaching. Like, if you take somebody and just help them with the stuff that you're great at, whether it's the 19-year-old kid who doesn't want to go to university and wants to start their own business, or if you're talking about, I don't know how much you still want to do the consulting with bigger businesses, but just sitting down and filming a natural conversation is the biggest hole I think that's missing in the YouTube market right now.
Okay, I like it. Maybe we'll chat a little more offline about it and see what ideas you got.
Yeah, even celebrating one of your current students and then taking them to the next level. I would think about any of your students who are who you riff well with, who has good vibe and personality and energy and makes you come alive, and turning them into, like, that could be a bonus part of being part of your program, is they get to be on your channel and we get to witness the rise of their growth as well.
Yeah, and give them all that extra help that they need along the way.
Yeah, and for people then watching, they can learn through the process as well, and then you can upsell your membership. So, and look at your website, you're promoting the weekly wealth free. What is that? Like, if I click on your Instagram bio, that leads me to a $8 program. What is that all about?
So it's a group chat with a bunch of people where they're all like-minded individuals that all want to grow. And I chime in there a couple times a week, just giving pointers and whatnot. And a lot of people, like, they're starting their own separate chats inside of the group and just growing what database they have already and trying to figure out, oh, is this working on Amazon? Is this working on Amazon? Because I know a majority of Amazon, but there's certain fields that I may not touch on that other students may have a better expertise on it, that they can then bounce those ideas off of and really just have a forum to reach into of like-minded individuals.
And what kind of, so once somebody's gone through the program and they set themselves up, they're making extra money. I saw you just posted about somebody just banked an extra $1,000 a month coming into his business. Once they've kind of gotten past the point of, oh, I can actually live off of this, right? Instead of just going to get a job. How do you help them? Like, what's the next level for them after just...
Aside from the Amazon part or the business part, the first thing I actually dive into with a lot of these people is finance. What are your current debts? What are your current expenses? Where can we grind things down? And this is going to set you up not just for today, but farther down the road of when you're even more successful and you're managing more dollars and more accounts, and just making sure that you're investing it properly and saving towards your goals and really setting up a 3-month goal, a 6-month goal, a 5-year goal, and so on and so forth.
Now, I look on your Instagram, and you got this promo for some movie, Colombia.
Oh, yeah. So I just got back from Colombia yesterday. That was a fun trip. I actually went out there and did stem cells in my cervical spine, my lumbar back, and both shoulders.
Okay. And what are you hoping to accomplish with the stem cells?
So I've already, and I'm literally a week out of surgery today, I've already regained feeling in my left foot, which I haven't had for 10 years. I could feel my big toe and the toe next to it, but the next three I couldn't feel. So I've already regained that. A lot more energized. Like normally this 8 a.m. call with you, I'd be dead. I was up at 6 in the morning. It's just feel like I found the fountain of youth, which was pretty amazing. A lot of the UFC fighters going out there. I met a lot of cool fighters out there. It was definitely an interesting week of meeting a lot of interesting people.
Cool. And is that now going to be an annual trip? Keep going back or what?
I'll go back once a year.
And so what's the video that's coming out? Is it a movie? Is it just a trailer?
No, it's basically my whole trip to Colombia. From start to finish, going through the medical treatments, having fun, going to dinners, just everything you can do in Colombia, and the company that I was working with out there, and just creating some cool content for people to see, because both of our followers don't get to travel the world like we do, and giving them a detailed view of what we can do and what goals there are out there is something I find pretty helpful for a lot of these people.
Nice. And for someone who's got a learning disability, feel like they haven't made it in the current system, either education system, or they're in a job and they're not keeping up, what advice would you give them?
Don't give up and keep pushing till you find your way to learn around it. You know, each person has a different way to cope with things, and don't just bury your head in the sand. You know, really try reading different books or watching more videos, whatever your learning style is, to really grow your knowledge and continuing to work on your knowledge. You know, I continue to read a couple books a month just to increase my knowledge, and I'm always learning. You know, you never want to stop learning.
So what was the hack for you? If you knew you had a learning disability and you knew that the school system wasn't working for you, is it reading books? Is that the thing that got you over?
The thing, reading a book was actually really difficult back in the day. So I started with audiobooks and videos. And that way I wasn't so focused on reading the word and trying to make sure I'm pronouncing it right and all that good stuff. Doing it this way, I was able to just listen to the words because I knew the words and really retain the knowledge. And then from there, I'm like, okay, I heard this audiobook. Let me go try and read the real book and see if I gain anything else out of it, and then highlight parts that I may not understand and come back to it later. So it was just playing with it over and over again until I found something that worked for me.
So is audio the main way that you learn?
Yes.
Got it. So see, I'm all visual. I love learning through YouTube videos more than anything else. Yeah, auditory for me is the worst. I listen to zero podcasts because if I couldn't see you, I'd have to really focus to listen to your words just to stay in the zone with you. I think that's fantastic because it's not a tool set that people often teach of, hey, what's your learning style? Let's customize a program towards you.
Oh yeah. And you know, just like I'm sure you have several people DMing you, hey, how do you do this? How do you do that? And it's funny how some people keep asking the same question over and over again, even though you've already given them pointers. And it's like, hey, I'll take my time to give you a free answer, but you got to dig deeper and find that answer for yourself. I can't do the work for you. That's the part that people forget just by signing up for my coaching classes or your YouTube classes. You can't do the work for them. They have to sit there and figure it out and really put in the hours.
And what do you think makes a difference from everybody's coming in, they want a better life, but not everybody's going to actually take action. What's the difference for those people who actually do?
So I'd say 50% of them are actually willing to take the action and put in the work, and really go that extra mile. And they just dig deep and aren't afraid to work after work, still working their job, still making time for family, and just finding time in their off hours to really push to that next level.
So if somebody's looking at getting started on Amazon now, finding a product, what would be like the top 3 things you would look at for picking a new product to sell on Amazon?
So I'd see how it's ranking on Amazon, what the price point is, which you can buy it for, what it's selling for, and not the highest item it's selling for, the cheapest, because, you know, people always want the best deal. And then figuring out what your shipping costs are from your distributor to you back to Amazon's warehouse. Because you have to factor all of that most people aren't aware of, is there's a lot of shipping involved.
And so what kind of numbers or margins are you typically looking at to say this is a good deal?
Around 30%. I'm more volume than, you know, big ticket sales. I'd rather just move a ton of it because it's a lot easier.
30% all in, like including shipping?
30% all in.
Cool. I like it. So what's next? Is it trying to build up the membership program, getting more people in, teaching more people how to do this?
Trying to teach more people how to do it, and just mentoring people and just overall business that, you know, not everybody wants to do Amazon. They want to start their own business or do something else that they're passionate about. and really helping them through the process to make sure that all the corporations are set up correctly, they have all their legal stuff set up correctly, and so on and so forth.
And is that what you're going to start creating, is how to start a business that's not online,
Yeah.
not Amazon?
So I've started doing some of that as well. It can still be online, but you want to make sure that, you've trademarked your name, set up the corporation, make sure you have the correct accounting, the right QuickBooks, all that good stuff, to make sure you're getting the best incentives along the way as well.
Cool. So for people who might be watching this or the replay, and they're also shy or afraid to be on camera and afraid to step out and maybe afraid to believe in themselves more, what would your message be to them?
Don't be afraid. That's what's holding you back. And I didn't let it hold me back after I was bullied and beat up in school and all that good stuff. And I've still succeeded in life and just continued to push.
Is there a reason why that story? So go to your website, and I didn't see that story about the early days.
It's something
of
I'm
bullying.
still a little shy about. I did a podcast with Sig and also Dr. Sam recently, and they both kind of pushed me out of that one and saying, hey, why aren't you talking about this? This is a great piece of your life that really shows, hey, you made it through a lot of obstacles that a lot of people don't have to deal with, and look at where you are today.
I agree. I mean, I think your purpose comes from your pain. And I think knowing what you've gone through would inspire a lot of people to say, hey, I could do that too. Knowing the backstory, which is why I was curious to talk to you and say, hey, it's great to see all the cars and guns and travel and all this, but like, how did you start? What drove you? What made you want to do this? Because even for you, chances are the people, if somebody's already got it made, it won't be as fulfilling for you as somebody who's been bullied or picked on or had a learning disability. Like if those people come to you and you help them and show them how to make some extra money and now build a life for themselves, that's going to be way more fulfilling than some guy who's already got, a trust fund and has already made it.
Oh, yeah.
But those people may not find you because they don't. It's easy to look at you from the outside and say, oh, this guy, he's got it all made. He's super
Trust fund
confident.
baby, something.
Yeah, it was all give it to him, or look at him. I can never be like that. Meanwhile, like, you know exactly what it's like to be like them.
Oh, yeah. So I'll probably start changing some of my content on my page to more just discuss that stuff and putting out more stories daily of just explaining things to people, because I've noticed the more I talk on stories and like explain things, people are a lot more receptive and dive deeper into conversations.
Yeah, whether it's captions on the posts or even just on the website to say, here's the backstory. I was picked on, I was bullied. I'm still working through it. Because anybody who's been picked on and bullied will instantly then connect with you and say, exactly. Like you represent hope to them.
Yeah, it was definitely a long journey to get to where I am, and it still never stops.
Cool. Talk to me about Instagram growth. I mean, you figured it out. You got your 1 million followers. You're booming and busting. What are your strategies right now to grow on Instagram? So
currently it's just pushing more. I've noticed if I don't post on stories daily, multiple times, I'm starting to lose followers. If I'm posting daily on stories, they don't really care about hard posts because I'm still interacting. I find stories are doing a lot better. I still post 3 to 4 times a week, a hard post, and create the content to really get it to that next level. But it's staying relative and creative at the same time. And sometimes I'm banging my head against the wall of, well, what cool clip do I go make today that, somebody else has done, but do it a little different where it's still interesting and cool.
Just like you're hacking Amazon, you're hacking Instagram.
Basically, yeah. Just like, your skills with YouTube.
Yeah.
You can't remake someone's video exactly, but you can tweak it and make it better.
I like it. Put your own spin on it.
Yep.
Is this something that you're teaching your students as well?
Nobody's really asked about that, honestly. Interesting concept, but no, everybody's only been really asking just about how to make money.
Huh. Because so many people are selling Instagram courses and growth hacks, and here's a guy who's an entrepreneur who's done it.
Yeah, I've done it, but I don't know. I feel like I'd rather teach people business because sometimes Instagram skews people's reality of life. It's a great platform, don't get me wrong, but a lot of people think everything they see on Instagram is real when people don't show the struggles. Great example is me. We just talked about all the struggles I went through. And everybody thinks it's peaches and cream when really it was years of struggling.
Yeah. What was the most painful moment in your life?
So I grew up with an alcoholic parent, And that was definitely, you want love from that one person, and that one person never gave you love.
Mm.
And it was a shitty thing to deal with. So yeah, I was fortunate growing up, but there's certain things that money can't fix, and that's one of them.
I love it. How important is giving love to your students then? Because it sounds like you're spending a lot of time with them individually.
It's priority number one. Like, that's over making money, is making sure that they get the best value out of it, and really push them to do better.
Is your goal to go broad? Like you want to have a giant reach and help, 1 million people, or you want to go niche and help 1,000 people in a really deep way?
I'd rather help 1,000 people in a really deep way than go wide.
They go wide. You go niche, so they go wide.
Yep.
Cool.
I prefer that.
So if somebody's going through, like, what's your, I'm just thinking somebody's come through your program, they're getting mentored by you, they're getting coaching, they're changing their life. Like, what's the best possible outcome for you to see where they're going to be? When you said setting 5-year goals for yourself, what's the best outcome where they could be in 5 years from your perspective, not necessarily theirs?
My perspective, in 5 years, they could be easily a multimillionaire with several real estate investments and, some automated things that are making them money while they sleep. And these people are just, it's changing their whole thought process of, oh, well, I have to be working all day, all night. It's like, no, you got to work a lot, but setting up a lot of things automatically to really make them more money while they sleep without much additional work.
And how do you actually change their thought process?
So I force them to read a couple books along the way, and then it's a lot of just conversations back and forth of, hey, you're doing this way and you're freaking out. Like, stop, breathe. Like, the world's not coming to an end. This is why we start small with like $150 investment, and we play with the product until you're happy with it. And we really look at your debts and your income and all that stuff. Like, I had one student who was in like $90,000 worth of debt. He's like, well, I can't get out of it. Like, I was like, well, if you want to think of it that way, we could sell your house, pay off all your debt. You have a net $50,000 income. And then from there, we can, make sure your house is set up. You have enough savings to get you by for 6 months, and then start investing in other things to really start making you an income. And you're back at ground zero. All that debt's gone. All those sleepless nights are gone. And a lot of these people are paying like 22% interest, which is insane.
So what books, top 3 books you recommend to your students?
So Power of Now is a great one.
Hmm.
Rich Dad, Poor Dad, and The Subtitle Art
Classic.
of Not Giving a Fuck.
Okay. And when's your book coming out?
I've never made a book. I know you made one. How long did it take you to get started on yours and start to finish?
My first one took a while. My second one, that's like with publishers, I have 4. This is my second one. This launches March 17th. This actually was super fast because it's all of the conversations. What you just think of is all of the conversations. You've done it so many times, coached so many students, that there's pattern recognition, that you can go so much faster because you've done it so many times. And so that just becomes the book. Your methodology, and then the conversation that you normally have and the teachings that you have, you just put into a book. So it's actually, if you know what you're doing, it's pretty fast to write a nonfiction book. If you still have to go off and research and put a bunch of stats in, you don't know what you're doing, then it can take a long time to make it.
Got it. So
what would your book be called? If you had to write a book,
ooh,
what's the title?
Go Big or Go Home.
Nice, man. I like it.
Cool. So your book drops March 17th?
March 17th, yeah.
You excited for it?
I'm pumped, dude. I'm pumped. Like, imagine all of the advice that you've given people that you know works, that you know has results, and then now you get to put into a physical product that then can go hit, many more people with it. It's just amazing to see the message get out there. So I'm excited. March 17th. I love it. I'll keep you posted.
All right, buddy.
Cool. Well, it's crazy how quickly time flies. If people want to learn more about you, dive more into your world, is it Instagram? Is it a website? Where do you want them to go?
They can go to my Instagram, Brian Gold, PhD. I check my DMs every couple hours. If I don't get back to you, give me at least 24 hours, because there's thousands of DMs coming in a day, and I get back to each and every single one of you.
Well, I appreciate it, man. Thank you for the love. Thank you for stepping in front of the camera, even though it might
No
be a little
worries.
uncomfortable. I think you got a really important message and look forward to getting it out to even more people.
All righty, Evan. Thank you.
Thanks, man. Take care.
Have a good one.